Welcome to a journey to discover the most unusual and extravagant passions that exist in the world. Today, we'll explore hobbies that go beyond imagination, activities that defy logic, creativity, and sometimes even physics. What drives people to dedicate time and energy to these unusual practices? Maybe it's the desire to stand out, the curiosity to experiment, or simply the desire to find joy in the little things. Whatever the reason, these hobbies show us that there are no limits to human imagination. Get ready to discover a world of curiosity that will leave you amazed. Let's start with hobbies that have to do with nature, but in ways you wouldn't expect. Have you ever heard of extreme cloud watching? We're not talking about lying in a meadow watching the clouds drift by, but about real travelers who go to remote places to capture unique cloud formations, like the rare Mammatus clouds or the spectacular Arcus clouds. These enthusiasts share their photos online, creating communities of sky lovers. Another fascinating hobby is rock balancing, the art of creating balanced sculptures using stones of different sizes. This practice requires infinite patience and a deep connection with nature. Some artists create works so delicate that they seem to defy gravity. And then there are those who dedicate themselves to fossil hunting, not only for scientific purposes, but also for the pure pleasure of discovering a piece of ancient history. Whether it's clouds, stones, or fossils, these hobbies remind us how much nature is an inexhaustible source of wonder. Let's move on to an even more curious world, that of collectors of unusual objects. There are those who collect vintage matchboxes, with designs that tell stories of past eras, and those who collect rare plush toys, perhaps linked to childhood memories or special events. But the real extravagance comes with those who collect bottle caps, transforming what for many is trash into a true work of art. One of the most curious hobbies is undoubtedly collecting sand samples from beaches around the world. These collectors, called arenophiles, catalog each grain of sand, which can vary incredibly in color, texture, and composition. Some have collections that number thousands of samples, each with a unique story. And then there are those who collect garbage. Yes, you heard right. Some enthusiasts collect particular waste or vintage packaging, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. If you think skydiving or surfing are extreme sports, prepare to think again. There's a world of activities that defy all logic and physical limits. Take zorbing, for example. Imagine getting inside a giant plastic ball and rolling down a steep hill. It's fun, adrenaline pumping, and a little crazy. Then there's train surfing, a very dangerous practice and illegal in many countries that involves riding on moving trains. Despite the risks, some enthusiasts continue to do it, driven by the search for thrills. And what about cheese rolling? Every year, in England, hundreds of people gather to chase a wheel of cheese down a steep hill, falling and rolling spectacularly. Finally, we can't forget extreme parkour, where athletes move through urban environments performing breathtaking acrobatics, or free solo climbing, climbing without ropes on dizzying rock faces. These hobbies show us that for some, the limit is just the beginning. Art and creativity can take truly unexpected forms. There are those who create miniature food for dolls with a level of detail so realistic that it makes you hungry just looking at it. And then there are artists who paint with their feet, creating works that defy all convention. One of the most fascinating hobbies is body painting, where the human body becomes a living canvas. Some artists are so good that they make people almost invisible, blending them perfectly with the background. And what about those who transform their hair into real sculptures? With braids, colors, and accessories, these artists create hairstyles that are true works of art. Let's not forget those who dedicate themselves to creating scale models of cities, or those who build miniature worlds inside boxes. These hobbies show us that creativity has no boundaries, and that art can be born from anything, even the most unusual ideas. Whether it's collecting bizarre objects, challenging physical limits, or expressing creativity in unique ways, these extravagant hobbies remind us that human passion knows no bounds. Each of these hobbies tells a story, a different way of seeing the world and finding joy in small things. And you? Which of these hobbies struck you the most? Have you ever tried something similar, or do you have an unusual hobby you'd like to share? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the most extravagant passions, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. See you on the next adventure.